Well, you know it's a special night when I put some makeup on and brush my hair. All right, I have a few announcements I need to tell you. Okay, so before we get into the gossip dump and recap for this week, I've got to share some things really quick. So have you guys seen this? This just came out in the Daily Beast. Crazy Days and Nights Gossip Boss Unmasked by Ex-Mistress. So this is Enty. Yes, this is Enty. Anyway, I wanted you to know this just came out in the last few hours, and now would be the most important time for you to go listen to my show from Sunday with Cassandra, who is the quote-unquote ex-mistress that they're talking about in this article and in this lawsuit. And if you're a fan of the blinds and all that, you're going to definitely want to listen to this episode. I hate that they called her the ex-mistress, though, because let's face it, Enty lied to her and said he wasn't married in the beginning. So she was hardly a mistress with, knowledge. She was lied to. So I think that's an inappropriate title, but whatever. Daily Beast did their best. I'm going to just remind you that if you go into the YouTube podcast tab, you will find this episode right on top with new on it. Please listen to it. It's so important. The full episode is in the Patreon. And I have Vanessa Reiser coming on Sunday. You know who she is if you're in the Housewives landscape. And we do a whole show about celebrity narcissists and all the patterns and signs and red flags. It's the best show that I have ever probably done on this topic, and I think has ever been done on this topic. Truly, I learned so much, and I'm a victim of a narcissist as well. So I've been abused by a narcissist, so I learned so much, and it gave me a lot of peace understanding why my ex was so evil and I didn't understand it. It's this one, okay? Also, if you missed it on the Vanderpump gossip dump I did yesterday, I told you the red lipstick that everybody loves that I wears on lives. And I made a mistake. I said it was Valentino. It's actually Armani, and I put a link to the color I'm wearing in that video if you want to go get it. And also help my channel. Oh, one more thing. This Saturday is the Crystal Mink Off deep dive confessional video. You guys asked for it. It's coming, and I found out some pretty wild stuff. I'm not sure what to think about it, honestly. You'll have to tell me what you think. I'm going to leave this one open-ended because I'm not sure what to make out of what I found. Mm-hmm. Okay, one last thing. In my Vanderpump Rules Season 11, Episode 2 recap yesterday, I dropped a lot of tea in the middle of that video, and I know people have a short attention span, but really you want to make it to the middle of that video if you didn't yesterday. Go back, start in the middle, and go to the end, okay? You won't be sorry. So before we begin the recap, like I do each week, I'm going to tell you the best of the best gossip that I heard and found out. So first thing I wanted to say is I got further confirmation on the reunion spoiler that we heard last week. I got a little more detail about it, and Kim Richards is not going to the season 13 reunion. It is only Kathy Hilton. I was told that Kathy Hilton went to protect and stand up for Kyle Richards and have her sisters back, and it was the hardest on Sutton Strack, that she was the most, she went through the most difficulties, and that I guess the reason that she wasn't feeling well and had to be taken away in an ambulance with Garcelle is that she didn't eat, or at least that was the opinion of this person, is that she hadn't eaten and maybe was dehydrated, etc. So that's why she wasn't taking care of herself during the show, and that's what happened. Or maybe she got overtaken by all the bad stuff happening on the show, and it made her sick. She passed out and went to the hospital in an ambulance. Now let me play you a little spoiler that Kyle Richards spilled on her Amazon Live recently.
Reunion in 5 words. I don't even know. Torture is one word. Anxiety provoking. It's 2 words, sorry. Stressful, scary, emotional, you know? Okay. Who do you think got the most heat at the reunion? Well, I would say I was definitely in the hot seat a lot, I would say. Yeah, I think Dorit was, I think Sutton, H says, other than your own, whose reunion look was your fave? Whose reunion look was my fave? I am going to go with Garcelle and Erica. I'll pick two. Do you feel any sense of resolve by the end of the reunion? Yes, I did, for sure. I felt better leaving than going, absolutely, which is always my goal, which is why last year was so depressing to me and so sad. I've never had, that was by far the worst reunion. Leaving there, we didn't even take a picture, we didn't hug, we didn't cheer, nothing. And we usually go out after to eat or something. No, we're there too late. I just went home and cried. Oh well. Okay, so
Kyle also posted something that Morgan Wade Music posted, which is, of course, Morgan Wade Official. P.S. I'm not fighting with it. Kyle Richards, 18. She dropped this a few days ago to stop the rumors that they were in a fight because she had cleared her Instagram of all of her pictures, and people assumed there was some sort of fight happening. Some people even said Kyle Richards deleted pictures, but that wasn't true. And that's it. So there you go. So then one of my friends caught Kyle Richards liking this post, which tracks with what Kyle's been saying, that Mauricio has been, following women he shouldn't be following and liking women he shouldn't be liking. And let's face it, I mean, he was single, but partying with women in Aspen in a way that was really inappropriate, even though I know that was someone's birthday party and I know the background on it, still was really inappropriate. Let me show you what this influencer said that Kyle liked. It will give you an idea of what's really going on that we haven't seen on the season yet. They have music going, so I'm not sure I can play it for you. So let me do this quickly so you can see what it says. What is micro cheating? Complaining about your partner to other people, having secret friendship, being touchy with someone else, lying about your relationship status online or offline, stalking someone you find attractive, complaining about your partner to other people. Here's Mauricio's big one, secretly messaging someone. Well, it's no wonder that Kyle liked that from what we've heard. I really feel for her. By the way, Mauricio better not judge me for being judgy of him, because listen to him gossiping about some guy who's the head of NAR or NAR, which is some rival realtor company in Beverly Hills. Listen to this. He's worse than me.
Because under threat of blackmail.
Under threat of blackmail? Like, what's that? Like,
we're supposed to be dorky realtors, the sector. We're supposed to be a few of us are kind of cool. You're cool. Zach and I try to be cool.
Don't put yourself in this
and by the way, what could that possible blackmail be? It's got to be something intense.
It's just a prison.
All of a sudden, boom, I'm resigning today.
I think we know what it's based off of, some of that blackmail.
What's your speculation on that?
A lot of sexual misconduct.
It's always the same.
It's a Harvey Weinstein cover-up, 100%. And days are numbered right now.
Best not to be judgy, Mauricio. You can't even watch this season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Best be paying attention to your own backyard, buddy. All right. Anyway, he would be so mad at me. Jeez. All right, let's get into tonight's recap. So one of the highlights on tonight's episode is that Andy Cohen reveals to Garcelle Bouvet that he is the guy on top and not the guy on the bottom, and he's strapping and strong guy on top. Yeah, I've heard that, so I believe it. I've heard a lot about Andy in the sack, unfortunately. So we start the women in just gorgeous fashion, heading to Sitges, Spain. so that we can finally get rid of Merce's ashes in the water as he would have wanted. His friend Trevor shows up and is talking to all the women in the, Sprinter van down, and he talks about how there's a grotto that everybody can go to in Barcelona that's gay and hook up, and you can meet lots of bears there, and Erica knows all about that. She's like, oh, skinny bears, big bears, describes what a bear is, knows all about it. So, yeah, so that was impressive to Trevor. Then the women get to the destination, and Sutton says some words for Merce, dumps his ashes into the water, she thinks, until Merce has the last laugh because air brushes up against the ashes and they leap over Sutton's head and dance right into the women's outfits, hair, and mouths. And they're eating Merce, unfortunately, for all the women. And they're pretty grossed out by it because they didn't know Merce, but they go with it. And that's that. Then we start a moment where the women are going to talk about what they're letting go. And this was a big part of Sutton's trip because she needed to let go of some things. As I said in last week's recap, she needed to let go of the 3 men that she loved deeply and were very important in her lives. Some for taking her power, but, being a big chapter in her life, and others just being good friends and not taking from her. So she says goodbye to her 3 men, which is her father who took his life, her dancing bestie Merce, and lastly, her husband Christian. So then we go one by one, and we've got Garcelle. She decides to be inspired by Sutton. She says goodbye to the pain that her father caused her for abandoning her as a child. Goodbye to her dream of a perfect husband who cheated on her, and goodbye to feeling alone. By the way, I love being alone. All right, and then we go to Crystal, and Crystal says goodbye to her brother. She lets him go because he's going to be moving to Thailand, and she knows she probably won't see him again. The last time he was in China and Thailand, he was there for 20 years. He got engaged to an actress there, and then she blew up that relationship. So she thinks this is probably it for him. But I don't think I'm that worried because Crystal Minkoff has a house in China. So she'll be going back a lot to see him. Then we move on to Erica, who I am now 100% sure is a narcissist, okay? Because she cannot ever see beyond her own interests, feelings, nothing, and she lacks empathy, which you're going to find out on my show Sunday is a big symptom of a narcissist, a true one, not someone with narcissistic attributes, like a real one. They actually can't feel and they don't have empathy, or their feeling doesn't go beyond their own self-interest, which sounds like Erica. But so she says goodbye. I wish she'd say goodbye to her narcissism, but she doesn't. She says goodbye to the hurt the women caused her during her period of pain with her husband and all the things that went down with the victims, that they weren't there for her and the hurt that they caused her. She let that go. Not really, but she said it so she could make that a thing. Then Anne-Marie gets up and, not surprisingly, does not get the assignment. Like, she just says something totally not relevant. She says, I want to be happier. And, that's it. I'm not giving up anything. I just want to be happier and work on myself or something. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's not the assignment, lady. But maybe she's a narcissist too. We're going to find out soon enough. So then we've got Dorit and Kyle left. Kyle gets up and says that she wants to get rid of the guilt of thinking she could do more. And she names Lorraine, her friend who took her life, Kathy, her sister, and the group. What could she do more in the group? I don't know. That was kind of cryptic. And everyone's waiting for Mo, the guilt of I could have done more to save my marriage or something like that. That doesn't come. She's not ready to spill the tea. And it's so frustrating. And the fans at this point have already DM'd me 10 times, she needs to cut the crap because this is a boring season. How could they be dragging it out this long? And I'm I'm with you. I don't know. Ever since I shot with Kyle, she was always afraid to show real things on the camera that really got to her. And then Dorit gets up and says that she is going to get rid of her PTSD and let that go, and all of her expectations on PK. PK, who's never home. Not ever. I'm so confused. Like, what other expectations could you give up? You've given him up. Look at him. To be fair, somebody's got to tell Dorit the truth. She still thinks she's like 30 and a nobody with like only, from small town Connecticut. Like, I don't think she's snapped into the fact that she doesn't look like her high school picture anymore. She's a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member for like several years. She makes good money. She's a commercial star. And PK's not that checked in, not that nice to her, and definitely not good looking. So what the hell is she doing? I mean, he's not even home for the kids, so you can't even make that justification. Someone needs to be honest with her. And he calls women, see you next Tuesdays. Ew. All right, flamingo dancing, here we come. The women rush home to change into their red outfits. Kyle doesn't have a red outfit. She only has orange, but it looks red on camera, so we wouldn't have even noticed, but she makes a big deal out of talking about it. And then we get Erica talking about herself again at the flamingo dinner, saying that she was, hurt by the women, and Marie brings it up to help Erica. She says, like, I overheard what you let go, and it, I'm not a part of this group, and I miss this, but, it sounds like you're hurt over something with the group, and she is the one, and Marie, to ask Erica about it. I guarantee that was something that they cooked up together, because Anne-Marie and Erica have become friends off camera. And so Erica then has her opportunity to answer and be like, you guys really hurt my feelings, and I've been vindicated about the earrings, which never happened in real life, but she's using it because she's like, oh, the Bravo fans are dumb and they're not keeping up with, what's really happening in the case. So if I can just call up one positive action, that'll be good enough. They won't look beyond it. And so she's holding on to dear life at this like one thing that came out that was successful. And she's like, oh yeah, I've been vindicated, and you guys still don't apologize or say nice things. Now, as a sidebar, Crystal Minkoff does apologize to Erica if she caused her pain. And Erica appreciates that, but she's the only one. Sutton wants to throw in one dig because she wasn't invited to Erica's Vegas show, betting it all on blonde or whatever. So she says, where was my ticket? And, I guess everybody got these elaborate tickets to the show from Erica with like showgirls and limos bringing the invite and giant tickets. It was really cheesy, but whatever. This is what Erica did. And Sutton was left out of that. But let's not forget what Sutton was doing. Sutton was dragging Erica till the cows came home. In fact, she was the first one on social media to be like, Erica's tickets are selling for $7, and amplified it, okay? So she's not innocent, and neither is Erica. So then the women go to this place to watch flamingo dancing, and the men are doing this great dance, and everyone's turned on as usual. And then the women are asked up on stage, and they do a very basic dance for the people in the crowd, and everyone's really embarrassed. Then we're back in Los Angeles. Woo! And now we're going to see the women's, so fashionable lives. We first open with Garcelle getting a package with her assistant for some Smash shoes, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And then Crystal's teaching her children math. They're better at math than she is. And then Erica's dancing and showing off her amazing dancing skills, and she can do a split, which I have to give her props for that. Like, I'm not a big Erica fan, but the split was impressive. And then Dorit goes over to Kyle's house, and this is when we get into the heavy shit. But before we do, I want to show you the shoes. Here they are, Crystal Crash. But they're on sale, like $700 on sale. Don't tell Garcelle, she'll be upset. It was so funny because I was looking for Garcelle's shoes and my shoes came up. And look, they said my shoes gave you a point of view. Look, I was so ahead of my damn time. So Dorit and Kyle get together in the final scene. It's weird. The dynamics between Kyle and Dorit are odd. In one way, Dorit's like, she's my close friend, and she exaggerates the friendship a lot. And then Kyle doesn't put her in her place on the friendship much, but recently she has been saying, like, we're not as close as you're making it out. And that's sort of a new thing that Kyle's doing. I always tell everybody, like, Kyle's your friend while you're on the show, and when it doesn't suit her, she's not your friend anymore. It's just the way she is, and she's so authentic. It's really shocking to people. Maybe that's what's happening with Dorit. But anyway, she has this conversation with Kyle. It's boring because nobody's really getting down to it and making Kyle, talk. Basically, Kyle tells us the same bullshit that Mauricio's been working too much. She lets a few clues out, like he's been working late and not coming home like when he's supposed to be and all this stuff, signs of cheating. And no, but Dorit isn't saying that. Yeah, that's it. And she's talking about his work and he's not making her a priority and work is everything and she is nothing really to him and that this isn't going to work out. Yeah. But they're in counseling and they're working on it and they've been together a long time and she's been through a lot of stuff. Now, one thing I forgot to mention that was said on the show in a minor scene was that all the women are like, do not sign documents that your husband asks you to sign without reading them. And Kyle's like, oh, I do that all the time. She may regret that later. All right, that's all I got for tonight. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. You never know what you're going to get on my channel. And tip, you guys, I can get tips on recordings. I make like $5 on these videos. Or join the Patreon and get a month of content for $6. You won't regret it. Or at least join for a little while. We chat in there and everything. It's fun.